family that games together would like to apologize for the audio quality of this episode. We suffered some technical difficulties in recording episodes 10 through 14, which resulted in a much decreased quality to the audio recording. We have edited this episode as best we can to minimize the effect, and though we have had to cut out more than we would have liked, we were able to keep intact all the events needed to follow the story. We would also like to thank @DNAP17 for his help in repairing this audio as best he could. Thank you for your continuing support of the D&D Grandma and the family that games together. Now, on with the show. Hello and welcome to the D&D Grandma and the Family That Games Together podcast. For more about our history, please check us out on Twitter @D&D Grandma or on Facebook @The Family That Games Together. We hope you have as much fun listening to our story as we did creating it. Now, sit back and enjoy. And then we're back. So, bringing it back in, or you just knocked into that wall, you look up, and now there's a staircase going up.
Oh shit. What just happened?
Just wait until we're back in town.
How old are you? Huh? How old are you?
I'm literally young.
I'm 18.
You're 18? I kind of picture myself as like a teenager.
We're all a bunch of teenagers?
Well, no, not you guys.
Not me, but
If anybody's frightening me again, I'm gonna literally
Sorry,
walk.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all play. That's fine.
Wheelchair, walker?
No, I'm only 53 right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm about 60.
Older than you think.
All right, let's keep on.
Okay, so up the stairs.
Up the stairs.
Marching order, please, just so I know.
I'm hiding in the back.
Okay.
I got the back.
I
I
got-
got a sneaky one.
I have 13 hit points.
Oh yeah, I have 16.
Oh, you're not behind me anymore?
Yeah, I gotta hang back.
No, obviously.
I don't know what's up there, and if I get hit, I'm down. All right, so
I'll go behind Tor.
Okay.
I got all my hit points.
Tor,
even though I'm
Sasha.
older.
Tor, Sasha,
She's a life
Nulara, me, and
Okay. You proceed up this narrow staircase, which is completely choked with dust and cobwebs. You're like moving them aside as you go up. It ends at a padlocked door
At the top of the stairs.
up the stairs. You go to open the door, and it goes like maybe 2 inches, and you can tell there's a chain on the other side of it.
Maybe Tor can break down the chain.
Sure. You can't like hand it to reach it. You gotta break it.
You gotta.
So, Tor, make an athletics check.
11.
It's not pretty. You've done better than this before. You go and the door splinters, and you just kind of keep hitting it. Rather than one shot and the door blows open, you kind of like you splinter through the middle of the door, like the end of the Thriller music video when they finally break down the door of the house. It's kind of like that. As you move that all that aside, you are now in a open hallway in what effectively would be an attic as you're standing underneath the eaves of this house. You are in a hallway, and there are 4 doors leading off. There's a hallway that goes up this way. There's 2 doors on that wall, 1 on that wall, and then there's 1 to the far left.
I'll take 1.
your faces are all like,
Okay.
what are you talking about?
We'll put that we'll call that one to the left.
Okay.
You open that, and it appears to be what was used as a spare bedroom. A lot of dust, a small, slender bed, nightstand, writing desk. The only thing you notice in this room is there is a rocking chair in the far corner, and sitting on the rocking chair, covered in cobwebs, is a smiling doll.
Ew.
Smiling doll.
Jesus.
Better not be called Talking Tina.
Can I do a perception check to see if it's live?
Go right ahead.
What are you
What are
doing?
you doing?
I'm doing something stupid.
Battle formation before you do something stupid, please.
No, never mind. I'm not gonna do anything.
I don't mind if you go and poke the dog.
No. I was
But
just
I
gonna...
do mind if we're not on battle formation.
Oh, so what you're saying is if I check to see, I just can't sense. I have to actually go check it.
Oh, you want to just do a perception check on it from distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you do that. I'll let you do that. Make a perception check.
Chucky?
7. 7.
7?
Yeah.
Looks like a doll from here.
Do I know way in the back?
Did you call out that you saw a doll? Or
Yes,
you
I did.
okay.
Okay. So
You
you're
know.
the only one in the room?
Right.
Okay.
I say we go in the room. I'm just going to go and stand in the far corner, and I'm going to say, go poke that doll.
No, I want to shoot. I don't want to get. I don't want anybody to get
We're
on
going
top
to
of it.
firebolt it?
Yeah, you can do that, or I'll shoot it from a distance. We gotta.
I could throw a javelin at it.
Yeah, do that.
What else is in the room?
Like right through its heart, man. Like just
Right.
aim for the heart. Yeah.
Go for it. Roll an attack.
Roll an attack.
Anything else in the room?
Mundane furnishings of a spare bedroom.
9.
One sinks in.
Yay!
Now it's a doll with a javelin.
All right, now I can walk over there and.
Just waving it around.
Yeah.
You picking it up like a
Wait,
steward?
nothing happened?
Or just picks it up, and now he's holding a javelin with a doll stuck on it. Cobwebs trail off of the doll back to the rocking chair.
Okay, I'm just gonna yell up anything. Like, what's going on?
Nothing.
Nothing. All right.
What are you doing, Tor?
Bring it to the ground, put my foot on it, take the javelin out,
Okay.
pick the ball up, and put it back on the chair.
Okay, so you leave that room. You now have a little hallway that went up that way. Door on the left side, 2 doors on the right side.
Who's next? Sachem? Check
Yeah.
out the door.
I'll check out a door.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
One.
Okay.
Going.
You open that into another dusty storage chamber. Everything here is draped in like dusty white sheets.
So shelves with sheets over them.
Mhm.
I want to lift up the sheets and what do I see underneath them?
Okay, make an investigation check.
16.
You start pulling away the drapes, and you pull back one, and you see like an old chair, and then you pull back one, you see a coat rack, and you pull back another one, and you see an unlocked wooden trunk.
Unlocked.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to open it. What's in there?
You open it up, and inside is a medium-sized skeletal figure. All bones at this point. And as soon as you flip open the thing, you're hit with this overpowering smell of mold.
Okay.
Like it's just filled with like this moldy. It's almost like hard to breathe when you sniff it in. And you can see the skeleton is wearing the dress of a handmaid.
Do you think this is the body of that creature that we killed?
Wearing the same clothing.
Wearing the same clothes.
That's what I'm thinking. So I'm yelling out what I found. Let them know. Is anybody else coming in the room with me? Ember is right now is a chicken shit. Okay,
Where
so
are you with it?
obviously with all that mold, if this person was stuffed in there, maybe killed, put into this trunk. Is it doing anything? It's just
No,
laying there.
It's just
not-
there.
There's a bad actor here somewhere who is physically harmed this family. And
Absolutely.
then hid it, covered it up, stuffed them in trunks, whatever.
And maybe I'm thinking just to close the trunk up. There's nothing more
Okay.
to do unless there's anything else in there other than the remains.
That's all you see.
That's
Do
all
we
I
feel
see.
confident that we got rid of the specter,
That-
the ghost
yeah.
that was her?
That's
or
the
do
question.
bones need to be burned? And I know I just went a little supernatural on
You
all of
did.
you, but
You did. You're gonna
do
salt
we
to
need
burn
to
the
set
bones.
this on fire? Or like,
Get Jensen Eccles on the phone.
What shall we do with this trunk?
I said we should close it up, or either burn the bones.
What is the truck made out of?
Oh, it looks like just a regular like oak wood.
Never mind, I don't want to burn it.
Well, I'm going to walk
Here,
away from it. I'm going to
yeah,
just
the house
close
for
it up.
now.
If they want to burn it, that's fine.
Or close
Anything
it up and
else
leave.
in this room that I need to know?
Nothing else. of
Nothing
interest.
I'll take, if I walk in the room, fine. The case, does it look trapped or anything like that?
The
The bones, do I get any heal off of them?
Make a Arcana check.
12.
Not getting any read off of it.
All right, I want to pick up a femur.
Okay.
Wait. Before you do that, I want to do an investigation check. It's just bones, or is there any skin or anything left on it?
There is no skin. It looks like it's skeletal form.
With my hand, I want to singe the bone.
Okay. It singes.
All right, we're good.
I think we already killed the spirit. I think it's okay. Okay, sounds good. Moving on. Next room.
So you go and you've got the other side of that little hallway. Door number 1 or door number 2?
He's gonna pick door number 2.
Okay. Door number 2 doors were a red herring. They both go to the same room. The 2 doors were a red herring. They both go to the same room.
Go into the same room.
The DM just likes to fuck with you.
I see.
So you open the door, open up into looks like what it was once a playroom. There's a bricked up window that is flanked by 2 dusty wood-framed child-sized beds.
2 beds.
2 beds. Closer to the door is a toy chest with windmills painted on it. There's a dollhouse, which is a perfect replica of the house that you're in.
Are there a perfect replica of us in the dollhouse?
Let me call Rod Serling, and I'll get back to you on that. All the furnishings, same story. It's dust and cobwebs everywhere. You do notice that there is a distinct charring and like soot that is present on the walls, the floor, and the ceiling in one contained spot. And lying in the middle of that charred area, you see 2 skeletons bundled up. One about the same size as the handmaiden was, one much smaller. About 5 feet away from them is a 3rd skeleton, larger than the others. While the 2 skeletons that were in the middle of the charred area seem to have been lying in a rather, for lack of a better word, peaceful pose, the one about 5 feet away looks much more violent, the way that one's laying.
So that's the family. That's the dad, the mom, the kid, right?
That's
And it
what
looks like they burned.
something.
That's what it looks like.
Something burned them. Such a contained
No, you said
area.
the handmaiden.
Size of the handmaiden.
It could be the mother.
The same size of the handmaiden.
So you're thinking mother, father, and
There's 3 skeletons up here.
Theory.
Hmm.
Baby dies and kills the rest of his family.
Ghost.
Yeah, like the baby ghost.
Right.
Right?
This
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
Clue. You don't win the game now. I'm investigating the fire pattern. I want to be an arson investigator right now and figure out how were they burned, the pattern in which they were.
Make an investigation check.
Investigation 19.
Okay.
nice.
Underneath the 2 that are lying in the center of the main charring area, you find the broken remnants of a kerosene lantern. You do notice a small trail of broken glass leading to the larger skeleton.
When I investigate him,
You're investigating him?
yeah,
Okay.
without touching him,
Okay.
I want to walk over and investigate him.
Okay. What are you investigating him for? What are you looking for?
Kind of similar. How did he burn?
It looks like the burns were self-contained on them.
I'm saying if there's lamp, then that's not magical.
Do I see skin?
No.
So,
But you do see a very thin, half-moon shaped metal ring in his hand.
A key ring?
no, he was holding the top of a kerosene.
He burns the woman and the baby.
Not a baby.
Child.
The child.
Yeah. It's not baby size, it's child size.
Are you telling the rest of us? Do we know yet?
Hey, if you're all in the room, I'll
Okay.
say anything aloud.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you're all getting this as she's getting it.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy went crazy and said, "What the hell did we do then?" I don't know. I mean, we let the nursemaid go.
Hmm.
We took care of her.
what was the kid's name again?
Ileana,
All right, I yell out, Ileana, come here.
you do hear faintly and not coming from any direction, just sort of aura. I can't go in the attic. You're not allowed in the attic. Daddy's gonna get mad.
Why would he get mad?
Where is Daddy? I can't find him, honey.
He should be up there.
Hey, Kelvin, you around?
You were the first two to say that, right? Who to ask me what's around here?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you both. You can each make perception.
Can I just give her advantage?
That's fine. You roll 2 and take the higher.
You want to take that out?
There you go.
16.
You do find, maybe about 10 feet away from the larger skeleton, there is a loose floorboard. You kind of tap on it, you realize that's hollow.
Okay, so what I would like to do is call Tor over next to me,
Mm-hmm.
just in case something pops up when I open up
Okay.
this
All right,
board. Ready?
I'm behind.
You ready?
Mhm.
We're both lifting.
No, I'm lifting and you're just...
there. Okay, yes, ready.
Alright, I lift. What happens?
Okay. We'll open the floorboard, and it reveals a small chamber underneath the floor. Almost like a storage area. And you look down, that's where the loot is. I'm just telling you guys that now, so we'll deal with that later, if you guys decide to deal with it. So you do see various coins. There are some gems under there.
Okay.
You do see, for some reason, a nice set of splint armor that is underneath there, as well as scattered all through this chamber, various pieces of clothing. There's like the shoulder seams of a dress. There's a woman's glove. There's a garter. There's
Trophies. Hair trophies.
I didn't want to have to rely on the make an intelligence check. Oh, they look like trophies. I was hoping someone would go trophies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting the idea, Sachem, that these are trophies. These are things a serial killer would.
And I'm not like the world's most fuzzy, warm person.
Uh-uh.
But this creeps
So,
me out.
The father came up here and would make noises up here, and his kid wasn't allowed up here. How big is this little thing? How tall? Deep?
It's about maybe 5 feet deep, maybe a little less, because it's not going to go past the ceiling of the previous of the floor of the level beneath you. And it's maybe 10 feet, around 10, 15 feet.
So it's like a crawl space.
It's a crawl, yes. Rather than that would be the word.
Alright.
It's a crawl space under the floor, yes.
Somebody left trophies here.
All right,
And
let's
there's-
clean out this little 5-foot area. Bring it up into this room. I'm going to take all the articles of clothing,
Okay.
all the trophies,
Mhm.
other than the jewels and gems and stuff that we want to keep. I'm going to take all of that. I'm going to throw it on one of the empty beds. Burning it.
Okay.
Is that going to free its spirit?
I'm hoping. Or at least it's symbolic in some way.
As you burn the trophies, like the clothing and all that stuff, as you light your hand and the trophies catch fire, so does the large skeleton. You see the skeleton itself burst into flames. This almost like a bonfire. And
2 hands now.
like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first Terminator movie, with its shoulders rolling and back, it begins to roll up to a standing position. Tor's just like something to hit, yes. And much like
Fire.
yeah, it's a fire skeleton. It's a skeleton on fire,
That's lovely.
and its eyes, 2 eye sockets burning like embers, lock right on you, Ember,
Oh dear.
Right? They're burning like embers.
and on Ember. And yes, as Tor just suggested, that is initiative. Okay, Ember,
15.
Nulara,
9.
Sachem, Tor,
14.
Umbra. Okay,
I go first.
you do go first.
So would I assume that this guy is immune to fire?
He's made of fire, essentially.
Hold on, I want to know if I cast Dragon Breath on myself,
Okay,
can I then use it, or is it?
I believe it's an action to cast.
It doesn't say it's an action to cast. Oh, it's a bonus action. So I can do both.
Oh yeah, then you can cast and use it. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so bonus action, Dragon Breath. I'm going to pick Cold.
Okay. What does he have to do?
He has to do a Dex saving throw.
All right. 17.
Check you out.
He makes it. So does he take half?
Yes. 12. He takes 6.
Okay, so he takes 6. Ember casts this thing, and you see her make this cantation around her face, and opens her mouth, and this cone of like concentrated ice just comes flying out of her mouth. The flaming skeleton's able to dodge to the side. Doesn't take quite as much damage as Ember had hoped. Tor.
All right, we're
But
in
he
the.
took. Did he take all 6?
He took all 6, yeah.
How far away is he from a wall? How far am I from him?
You're all within 10 feet of him.
Right.
He's not the wall, but there's like that center pillar, which would be the chimney that would go up. He's close to that.
How big is he?
Medium. No, you're a bit bigger than him.
I would like to run and push him right into the.
Okay, make an athletics check. This will be opposed athletics.
18.
18 on a die for a total of 20. You run up to him, Tor, and he just kind of stiff arms you.
Okay.
And you were not expecting that.
Oh,
Good idea. Oh, that would be.
He stopped me from pushing
He
him.
stopped. He was able to ground, and he just stiff armed
What did you
you.
roll?
18 on the dice. So 20 total. Sachem.
I'm going to use a ray of frost. So starting with cold.
Okay.
I'll continue with cold. I'll work with that.
7 will not hit,
No,
unfortunately. Okay. Umbra.
I'm in the room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is anybody within 5 feet of him? Oh no, you're right on top of him.
He's right on top of him,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. So then I'm going to shoot an arrow at his skull. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
15.
15 will hit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
15 will hit.
That's 10, 13. How close am I to Nulara? 30 feet?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to position myself so that I can feint to draw his attention and give her advantage.
Okay. So you fire your arrow, and then you just kind of step to the side and go. His head turns and looks at you. You'll have advantage on an attack against him, and you're up next, Nulara.
Okay. Spiritual weapon.
That only her bonus action?
That's her only bonus action, yeah.
she could still cast a regular spell.
Sure. Yeah.
You could still do something besides.
She can't trip. She can't, because spiritual weapon, yeah. Can't trip. She can attack with a mace. Let's do it one step at a time. What form would you like your spiritual weapon to take?
Oh my goodness, I didn't know I had a choice.
You can choose. This is where you can add flavor, or how
Remember the time that Victoria made it a chancleta?
She made a what?
a chancleta.
Yeah, she made it the.
The chancleta.
Oh!
Do you remember when she did that?
How Tor likes to call the angle he's gonna hit with his great.
Gotcha.
That's his flavor of combat. You get to add yours now. So what form would you like your spiritual weapon to take? It could be simple. You could just make it a hammer. You can make it a mace. You can make it a chancleta. You can do whatever you want.
Something with a point. Like an arrow?
Okay. So you make it into this radiant golden arrow that now appears
See, that sounds better.
beside
A
the.
radiant golden arrow.
As Nulara makes this incantation, unfamiliar to the rest of you. You never heard her do this. And then this radiant, bright golden arrow appears next to it. Roll a d20 and add your spell attack bonus.
Roll with advantage.
You get to roll with advantage because of course you roll 2 and you take the higher.
7.
Okay, so you take the 12.
Plus your.
Because the 12 was higher, plus your spell attack bonus.
18.
That hits.
Yeah.
That hits. So now it's going to be roll me a d8 and add your wisdom modifier.
Go, Grandma.
3.
3.
6.
So 6. As the arrow, kind of like a piston, goes and hits this radiant, hits the skeleton for its 6 points of radiant damage.
Where does it hit it?
We'll say clavicle, like on the
okay.
side right there.
Yeah, I'm just curious because he's all fire.
Yeah.
So where could
Well, he's fire and bone. He's a skeleton that rose into a flaming skeleton. That was your bonus action, so you still can do something else. You can cantrip. You can hit it with your mace.
I can cantrip it?
You
Let's see
can.
if I can toll it.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll be a wisdom save, right? Sorry. Sorry, Nulara. I'm also sorry because he goes now. Did anybody move away from it?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I said you're all within 10 feet of it.
I think so.
Then I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw.
Not 20 for me.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Oh.
Dexterity. Oh, you have advantage because of danger sense. This is a dexterity save.
11.
Pass.
Eight.
Fail. Okay, so those of you who failed,
Oh,
as the skeleton releases this burst of flame radiating out from its body. Okay, those of you who failed take 8 points of fire damage. Those of you who passed take 4.
I use stone endurance on this?
Yeah, sure. So if you want to roll a d12 and then add your con modifier. Also, those of you who failed, look down and you can see part of your clothing has caught fire.
That's okay.
15 total? Alright, you
Yes.
take nothing.
how much do you want?
8.
8.
If you failed, you took 8. If you passed, you took 4. And if you failed, part of your clothing is now on fire. So even though you took no damage before, you can see part of like your
My fur?
part of your pelt are on
Yeah.
fire.
Okay.
Yeah, your tunic, Nulara, is on fire. Ember, your dress.
I'm okay.
You're fine. You took 4 points of damage each, and you are not on fire. You can see parts of the room now have caught, and like or there's little flames all over the place. Back to the top of the order. So Ember, we're going to start with you. You failed the check, right?
Yes.
So to start your turn, you take an additional 7 points of fire damage.
Out.
You're out.
Peace, bitches.
Ember drops unconscious
Oh, jeez, I gotta get
to start her turn. Or it is your turn. Yeah, that's going to be automatic failed death saves.
Now swing my axe.
Do it.
21.
That hits.
4.
Make sure I get it. So
Sorry,
4 damage
man.
total.
Yes.
4 damage total. Okay, just make sure I got it.
Is this the skeletons?
Sachem.
Yeah, I'll go after him with my great sword.
Okay.
Yeah. 13?
Just misses.
Okay.
Just Umbra.
Wasn't sure.
19?
Got distracted.
It's
So that's 13.
okay.
She's the only one who goes after me, right?
She comes right after you, yes.
Top of the next order.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to help Nulara.
Okay. Which is fine because your spiritual weapon is still running, so that'll give you advantage on the spiritual weapon attack.
Yeah.
Which is your turn. So let's do that first, because the spiritual weapon stays.
Okay.
So roll me 2 d20s and add your spell attack bonus.
That's
20.
Yeah.
Natural 20?
Yep.
She got
And 13.
Okay, obviously the natural 20.
Uh-huh.
2 d8s and add your wisdom modifier.
Wisdom modifier?
8 and add your wisdom modifier. Yeah.
Did some good rolls, ma.
So 11. He's looking rough.
Yes.
He's starting to break apart. That was your bonus action. Now you can use your action. Okay.
Two Ember. Second level.
Second level cure wounds.
That's right.
Same as what you just did. 2 d8s and add your wisdom modifier.
3.
3. Plus
Okay.
2,
12.
because you're Disciple of Life, plus the spell's level. You casted it at second level. 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 2 is 12. You're awake with 14.
Hey.
Life Cleric for the win.
That's actually doubled it if you think about it. You rolled a 7, and then I got 14. That's
Yeah. That is what a life. You rolled 7 on the dice, but you healed her for 14. Nuts.
Okay.
That's why life clerics are ambulances with feet.
Okay, well, I'm glad that I can help.
Okay. It goes now.
I'm still on the ground. I have not gotten up.
Fire blast did not come back. That's good. Sachem, you missed it, right? When you swung with your greatsword?
Yeah.
You missed it. It tore. The only one in range who's actually hurt him. That's a 17 to hit. So you're going to take... We'll settle it all. You're not raging, are you?
No.
Okay, so that's going to be 5. I'll just give you the total number. 9, so 13 points of damage total. 8 points of bludgeoning and 5 points of fire. Ember, we're back to you.
Gonna jump up.
Okay.
I'm gonna look oddly different.
Define oddly different.
I look stoic.
Okay.
I lose my concentration, right? Because it's fire breath is gone. How close is this guy to me?
10 feet.
19 to hit for chromatic orb.
19 hits.
15 damage cold.
15 cold damage. Would you like to call your shot?
Yeah, it's gonna go in his ribcage and then explode. So it's gonna cut him right in half and splinter. And then when it falls, he's gonna kind of turn to dust, like in the Last Crusade.
Okay, as you see that, the little holes that you were cutting into with your great axe tore, a little ball of cold energy enters inside of it and bursts in these shards of ice crystals. And the skeleton, the flames go out, the bones begin to go brittle, and he falls into a pile of bones and dust.
Right?
As he falls, the flames around the room start to pick up.
Flames start to pick up?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that means we have to bid a hasty retreat out of here.
Okay.
I dash.
I don't know.
Can I take a cheat and try to put it out?
Certainly try.
It's only the bed of clothes that's on fire right now, and that's what's starting to go up.
There was fire when he burst. Pieces of the room started to catch fire from his fire blast.
No. I'm not leaving my treasure.
You taking the treasure?
Taking my treasure.
Get as much.
Okay.
Well, actually, I can carry some. So
I don't want to pick up what you want.
Gotta make it quick, so let's do it.
Right.
Okay.
Take that armor. I want it. Give me armor. She's dying.
Where heavy armor?
Shut up. I want it.
I'll pick up
So
the
sell it for money.
Okay. Tor grabs the sheet of splint armor. Between the rest of you, you guys get the rest of it.
Okay.
And as you begin to exit the attic, flames start catching. And as you make your way down these stairs, you enter that bedroom that you came up here from, and that bedroom is now burning.
Oh, this is just going all over.
The house is starting to catch fire.
Okay, is there any way we can go through that
how I
room?
originally wanted.
You can make your way out, but it's as you're making your way back down the stairs, it's almost like the fire is chasing you.
Okay, so let's just make haste and get the fuck out.
I think, yeah, drop the treasures and let's go.
Alright,
Well, no, we got
yeah,
the treasures
You
already.
can drop your treasure.
Alright, so I'm making my way out.
Okay, and you make your way out. You're running down the stairs. The fire is following you out. The walls, the floors, everything is catching the furniture. You make your way out the front door, and it is like backdraft. Like the fire is just blowing out the windows. And as you make your way onto the sidewalk, you turn and look up, and the whole house is now engulfed. The whole house is burning from the bottom up. And as you see the flames starting to catch, making its way out of the windows, out of the roof, you look in right by the front door. You see Ileana.
Ileana, come here.
Standing next to her is an elven woman, arm around her, and they both wave.
Oh,
And you see Ileana mouth, "Thank you."
Ileana, come here.
And you just stand there watching this house burning. And after a second, you hear a carriage makes its way down the street, making haste faster than you've ever seen him ride the horses. You see the carriage driver, Wendell, riding up. "Oh, the fire! I thought you could make a hasty exit. Care for a ride?
Absolutely.
Yeah, damn.
Who's this?
I don't know. Who are you?
Wendell! Wendell Warmwater!"
The treasure was
You see a halfling man with this like burst of short curly hair around his head, sort of like a California surfer dude kind of hairdo. Fairly common clothing. He's dressed like a carriage driver, and he's riding the carriage. Oh, you with them?
Yeah, she's with us. He's
Yeah.
annoying, but he's
See how
kind of
she is
grows
on
it.
All right, come on, let's get down here.
I am going to take the treasure that I'm holding in my hands. I'm going to give it to Nulara,
Okay.
and I'm going to fly away.
Oh,
And I'm going to... I only can fly for a minute, so I fly up to a rooftop and land.
Okay. Did everybody else just see this woman fly away?
Yes.
As you all just see Ember, like she's never done before, you just see Sprout's wings, these angelic wings. And she just flies up and flies away from the lot of you.
Needless to say, she leaves us in shock.
I will settle up. We're gonna take a break in a minute. I just want to give you guys your loot first.
Somebody keep track of it.
Hold on.
Fighters usually don't.
Hold
All right.
on. Tell me.
Okay. Well, first we'll do the coin. Do you want me to break it down into the types of coin, or give you a total coin value in gold?
So essentially, you're doing talk to text on my phone right now. So
32 platinum pieces,
Ooh. Wow.
2,798 gold, 1,029 silver, and 4,410 copper. Podcast listeners, I don't enforce encumbrance rules. It's way too much for me to keep track of.
Carry it. Carry it.
That's a lot. Like we're talking like 8,000 coins. Like,
I can hold a boulder, right?
it's not a matter of strength. It's a matter of where do you put it. It's coins. You know what I mean? Like you don't have a sack.
It's not a sack. I got you.
You know.
Oh, I got you. I thought we had a sack.
And she handed
Numbers later.
Nulara the armor, correct?
no, he.
You have it.
Everyone else was carrying the loot.
You're proficient in Arcana, correct?
Just +2, but no die.
You're an Eldritch Knight. I'll let you make the check.
Okay.
Are either of you proficient in Arcana? I don't think you are.
I have a +1.
Okay. You can roll an Arcana check.
Not much. 12.
It wasn't a high DC, but you know what? It's not relevant because over the course of a short rest, you would know what it is anyway. And it's going to take you a short rest to get back to the manor house. That is the armor. Well, whoever wants it, that's just what it is. You're the one who was able to figure out what it is. And while she figures that out, we will take a break. The family that games together would like to take a moment to thank some of our sponsors. MasterOfTheGameProject.com, a blog dedicated to learning more about our favorite hobby, specifically the people who create the adventures that us gamers love to play. The Deck of Many, making quick reference cards for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, including weapons, NPCs, monsters, and spells, among others. Pre-order your animated spell cards today at deckofmany.com. Tabletop Loot, some of the best quality and best priced dice that we at the family that games together have ever seen. Find them at tabletoploot.com. One can never have too many dice. And the Nerd Asylum, a group of amazing people playing a wonderful campaign called the Autumnford Chronicles. Check them out at thenerdasylum.com. To find out more about becoming a sponsor for the family that games together, head over to our Patreon at the D&D Grandma on Patreon. A pledge of just $1 a month gets you access to Patreon exclusive content, including interviews with the players, narrated fanfiction, and other goodies. Thank you for listening, and keep on rolling.